Yes, people, and welcome back to the biggest preview of the season. Biggest fucking game, this is an absolute must-win match for Manchester City. Guys, I want maximum fire emojis spam in the chat right now. Let's fucking get it, man. Huge spam required. Let's go. I want to break the PC, man. Spam the fire emojis, because this game tomorrow is absolutely huge. Guys, make sure you drop a like on the stream. Subscribe to the channel as well if you are new. This is the one. This is what we've all been waiting for. We've had the early season. We've had the mid-season. We've had the international break. And now it's serious business. Woo! Brother, this is going to be a madness. This is going to be a mad stream, man. I'm fucking buzzing. I'm getting a bit nervous now. Maybe I shouldn't have done the siren. I've almost out nervous myself, man.
Bro, you've sent a shiver down my spine, man. I was sitting there kind of like, yeah, I'm looking forward to chatting about this game. I'm getting excited for the match. You just made this hella intense. Hella intense, man. I'm proper nervous now. That was some D-Day shit going on right there. I was like, yo, when's he going to chill with the siren? When's he going to chill with this? It's getting spooky now. But listen, he's spot on, people. He's spot on. A match of this magnitude deserves an intro of that magnitude. If you're not up for this, you're getting up for nothing. Let's have it.
It's it. Guys, make sure you drop a like on the stream. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure if you're not already, become a YouTube channel member. Help support the channel grow. Big up to the guys at Boohoo Man. They've sponsored today's stream. If you guys want to pick up yourself anything from Boohoo Man, hit the link in the description. And make sure you're using code CityExtra at checkout. And you'll get any applicable discounts on their global company. Ship worldwide. Loads of different stuff. Loads of different clothes, accessories, different price ranges for everyone. To get yourself involved, link is in the description. Bro,
where do we start, man? Where do we even start?
I think we've got to be real. I think we've got to be real here, and I got to be real with you. I'm shitting it, bro.
Shitting it, yeah. On a scale of 1 to 10, where are you at?
Bro, I'm at fucking like a 9.
Is it?
Bro, I'm fucking nervous, man. I'm fucking nervous for this game. This is it, bro. This game. This game could decide what we're doing for the rest of the season. But if we win this game, you better believe, man, I'm going to get my chest out tomorrow if we win this game. I'll get my chest out and I'm going to be saying, you know what, we're going to go and do it. We're going to go and do it. We're going to win the league. If we don't win necessarily more, if we lose, it becomes difficult. It becomes difficult. Look, I'm not gonna say the league's done if we lose tomorrow. But it's very difficult, brother. And that for me is why I'm at a 9. I've never been a 9. I've never been a 9 the day before. You know that. People in the stream know that. I'm always pretty chill the day before. I'm always like a 6, 5, something like that. Normally Jordy Party that's fucking a crumble. But nah, I'm seriously feeling it now. Because this game is everything. I mean, they're 8 points clear, bro. I know we've got a game in hand. They're 8 points clear. We lose tomorrow. And Arsenal beat Leeds. It's 11 points, man, with 9 games to go? Like, that's difficult. I'm not going to give up. I won't give up, but it becomes tricky. It becomes seriously tricky. So I'm going into this game believing that we can win the match. I've got confidence in the players. I've got confidence in the manager. But it's hit me. It's hit me tonight, man. It's hit me tonight that this is serious. This is serious business.
Yeah, man. I've never seen you like this before. You're usually a very calm and collected individual with these situations, and you analyze it very. Is it the beer talking now? Is the Stella or the Guinness talking? Or
No. Seriously. I talk to you honestly here.
I'm playing, bro. I'm playing.
Man to man. I'm shitting it right now, bro. I am.
Right.
I can't lie.
No, you know what it is, man? The more I think about it, the more I am shitting. It's just, I know I've got a lot to do before I get to that point with the match. I have to travel, I have to fly, I have to do the whole airport thing. I think once I land in Manchester tomorrow morning and you pick me up in the car, then it'll hit me. Then I'll be going, oh shit. It's like, there's no turning back now. There's no hiding from this now. We're full sending it into this, because you know what? Tomorrow's game, man, it sets the precedent. It's the big test. It's, can we really go win this league? Tomorrow is the precedent for, can we go win this league? Because we can't afford any more slip-ups. We simply can't afford any more slip-ups. And, when Pep says these comments in his press conference, like, If we lose tomorrow, we lose the league. And he usually says that as a mind game. He did that with Klopp for years as mind games. I think when he says it about tomorrow, he's spot on, or as close to spot on as you can get. Lose tomorrow, and it's peak, man. I'm the same as you. I won't give up. I'll back the team to the very end, but my confidence goes from quite high to very low, and then I start to go, yeah, Champions League time, full send Champions League, but keep going at the Premier League. So tomorrow, it's do or die, man. It's D-Day tomorrow for this team.
100%. Look, guys, we've got loads to get through, man. We're going to go through tactics. We're going to go through the tactics, how we think the team's going to set up. We'll go through the starting 11, predicted starting 11. We'll, of course, give you score predictions. And by the time we've got all through that, the embargoed section of the press conference will probably be out. So we can have a look at what Pep's been saying in the embargoed section as well. So it's going to be a massive stream. As always, guys, make sure you drop a like on the stream. Get those likes up for us, man. Help support the channel. We've got over 400 people in the stream. Let's get those likes past 200. Hit that thumbs up button and make sure you subscribe to the channel as well if you're new. And again, massive shout out to Boohoo, man, for sponsoring the stream. You guys want to pick up yourself any clothes, any accessories, hit the link in the description and make sure you use code CityExtra at checkout for any of the applicable discounts. Before we get in it, we got Zerified who sent in a member message. For 8 months, big up Zerified for the 8 months member. Said, yes, lads, been a bit away because of work, but I'm excited that City football is back. 3 points and a Spider-Man brace tomorrow. City extra till I die. Big up Zerified for the 8 month support, brother. We've also got Ferg FIFA coming in with the 3. Says, have a safe flight, Hugh. Don't forget your toothbrush. That's from Ferg FIFA. I mean, this is the thing, bro. Like, you got to get up early in the morning. The thing is, right, Jordan stitched you up big time, right? Because you would have liked the first watch along, right, for Hugh on the channel. You would have liked it to be a home game, maybe beginning of the season, midway through the season. I don't know, against someone in the bottom half of the table. Bit of like a chill game. Nah, this guy's thrown you into the deep end. Possibly one of the biggest games of the season at home against one of the best teams in the league, Liverpool. And bro, that's a mad debut to be making a watch-along debut on, man.
Listen, man, big men stand up on big occasions. I don't shy away from these challenges. I don't like 12:30 kickoffs. I don't like playing against Liverpool. I don't like this getting up at 6 a.m. for a flight, but I'll do it, man. I'll do it for this club. I'll do it for the community. And I'll be there no matter what. I'll see you at 12:30 tomorrow. Have 11 tomorrow, isn't it? Big build-up.
Yeah, exactly. Johnny Poddy's my dad says, where is Daddy, by the way? He's on a stag do in Amsterdam. Guys, gone seeing the red lights and that. So big up Johnny Poddy. Yeah, whatever lights he wants to see. But big up, hopefully having a good time and that. He's obviously got to watch the game tomorrow in a stag do. So yeah, big up. Hopefully he's having a good time. But let's get into it, guys, because we've got loads to talk about. Before we get into the predicted 11, I wanted to talk a little bit more about Liverpool. Now, our Xtra Club members might have seen the opposition preview. That'll go up to everyone else after this stream. But I spoke to Monts from Big Six Bants before, talk about Liverpool, sort of what we expect from them. The main thing that I'm looking at in this game is the midfield. Liverpool's midfield is, let's be frank, diabolical. Now, that doesn't mean that they can't win the game because they've still got good defenders. They've got a great keeper, probably the best keeper in the world. I probably come to terms with that. And their attacking 3 is still very, very strong. But their midfield is clearly, and I think even Liverpool fans would accept this, is clearly their weak point. He believes, and from what I've seen, I probably agree with him, that the midfield 3 will likely be Fabinho, Henderson, and probably Harvey Elliott tomorrow, right? That's it because of injuries. So if you look at that midfield, we have to dominate that midfield. It's not going to be good enough just to slightly beat their midfield. We have to dominate that midfield battle. We have to own it. We have to make Liverpool's midfield look like a Sunday League style, like a Sunday League team midfield. That midfield is weak. It's seriously weak. If we let them get away with it, then it could be peak for us. But if we dominate that, which we know we can do, we got Rodri, we got Kevin De Bruyne, we got Bernardo, Gundogan, a combination of those 3. We can own that midfield. Now, why is that important, right? The reason that's important is because then we can dominate the ball. We can shut them off on counter-attacks if we get into the faces quickly, which is maybe, we'll go through the predicted 11 in a minute, but maybe that's why you might want Bernardo Silva in there for that energy. We have to own that midfield. If we win that midfield battle and win it well, then I think that gives us a real solid platform to go and win the game. Now, we do need to be defensively solid, and hopefully we will. We've been obviously 5 clean sheets in a row. But for me, I'm looking at that midfield, and I've got to say, we need to dominate that midfield. I really think that's crucial. I think it's key.
That's what they say, isn't it? Win the midfield battle, and you're well on your way to win the game. And that's the big part that you have to shut down with Liverpool, because whether you like it or not, they do have potential game winners up front in the likes of Salah. And I know some people don't rate Darwin Núñez, but I think there's a player in there, and if he can find his composure, he could probably cause problems. And they have a couple others too. But yeah, that midfield, that Liverpool midfield, it's there for the taking. It really is there for the taking. That's why I know that, like you said, we'll get into the predicted 11 and that kind of thing, but I am leaning towards the more high energetic players, the high energy players, the high intensity who'll just run rings around the likes of Henderson. I saw Big Steve saying in his preview he's expecting Henderson to push up on Rodri and try getting his face. I can see that too. So players like Bernardo can probably get up in their face, and this is what makes City Liverpool so interesting, because the tactics, neither team really adjusts their tactics to suit the opposition. They go head to head. But I think if we go head to head with them with our best 11, we'll come out on top. But yeah, man, the midfield is where it's going to be won and lost. And for the first time since this old rivalry between us two started, I think our midfield is streets ahead of theirs. So there's no excuse for us to not dominate the midfield.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, I see. Well, it depends, because obviously you look at Liverpool, right? And obviously they're in this top 4 battle, right? Now, they need to win the game, but they're also looking at teams around them and saying, to be honest with you, Tottenham are not consistent. Newcastle are not consistent. Liverpool themselves are not consistent. A draw for them wouldn't be the bad thing. So I wouldn't be too surprised if you saw a slightly different type of Liverpool performance. Normally, when we see Liverpool play City, they go gung-ho for it. They just attack and attack. The game opens up and becomes a basketball game. And sometimes City decide to clash with that. There's a few different things. There's a few reasons why that might not happen. One, City really, really, really do not want to make this game an open match, because I just don't think that really suits us. We don't have the pace for it. Liverpool, with Darwin Núñez in behind, he's very fast, you know what I mean? And regardless of his poor finishing, he's a very good player. They've got Salah, Gakpo, who's likely to play. I don't think we want to do that. We want to keep the game tight. And I think Liverpool will not be too disappointed if City do that, because, like I say, if they get a draw, I think they'll probably take that. So the game for me is likely to be played in a tight way. High energy, don't get me wrong. I don't think teams will just sit back. I do think we'll press, but I think it'll be a tight game. And it's really, really, for me, down to how City press the Trent, Robertson, how we dominate their midfield if possible, and ultimately, can we nick a goal? I don't know about you, bro. I don't see this being a high-scoring game. And the reason I say that is because I just don't see the game opening up for it to be a high-scoring game. The only way I see this being a high-scoring game is if the attacks are on fire or the defenses are just awful. And I think City's defense right now is in good form. Liverpool's defense, whilst they have been shaky with Trent, obviously Virgil van Dijk's not been himself, and even Robertson to a certain extent hasn't been great himself. As a unit, on a one-off game, I think they can put in a good performance. I think this is going to be a tight game. I think it's important that we be patient throughout the game and just keep pushing, be patient, and hopefully nick it. I think this could be like a 1-0 City win, 2-1 City, 1-0 Liverpool. I just think it's going to be a really low-scoring game. I'd just be very surprised if there's a lot of goals in this, man.
I think it's really hard to judge that, whether it's going to be high scoring or low scoring. Recent history would tell you it's going to be high scoring, but I think if we score first and we score early, I think it could be high scoring, and I think it could be high scoring in our favor. Because, like you said, Liverpool are chasing that top 4. Time is at the essence for them to get that top 4. If we score early and they start to push men forward, they start to push their midfield higher, their back 4 moves higher up the pitch, or their back 4 gets exposed, I think we can cause serious problems. When you spoke there about putting pressure or pressing high, I think we do need to press high. I think the likes of Trent, Robertson and Van Dijk, I think they're there to be got at. So I'd expect a big shift from Jack Grealish. I'd like Mahrez to press high too, whether it's Haaland or Alvarez. I'm leaning slightly towards Alvarez, but we'll speak about that later on. Press high, get in their faces, because We've seen it this season. All of those players have mistakes in them, and big mistakes in them, big blunders. So get in their faces, lads. We're on our own patch here. We stamp the authority. We'll set the tempo of the game. We're the superior team. We're the superior team by quite a lot this season. So we'll go and set the tempo of the game. We just need to get in their faces. I think get an early goal, put them under pressure, make them feel a little bit wobbly. They don't want to be the end of on the end of a hiding. I think we could put them to the sword. They get an early goal, we may get a bit more conservative and say, whoa, we need to relax here and not go so pedal to the metal, if you like. So it's kind of hard to judge.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's going to be a crazy situation. I want to go through the predicted 11. Loads to speak about on the predicted 11, including the striker position, which we'll get to. And there's some quite interesting news coming out tonight on the striker situation, which I'm not even sure Hugh's got. So I'm going to save it and let him know on the stream when we get to that position. Before we get into the predicted 11, big up to Massam, member for 7 months. Big up, Massam. Thanks for the support, man. Says, hopefully a comfortable win tomorrow, but even better if City wins by a dodgy VAR goal. And welcome Hugh on City Extra. Watch along, Bray. That's bro. Massam. We've also got Juan with a 1 month member says Rodri masterclass tomorrow, 3-0 City. Well, I'm sure we'll talk about Rodri when we go through the predicted 11, but he's going to have a massive game to play. And also sub to City Extra and the Mancunian way with a 7 month says Brevs run the likes up. He's going for a 4-1 Manchester City win. I mean, that's completely the opposite. I think there's going to be a lack of goals. I think there'll be a low-scoring game. But I guess when it's Liverpool versus City, the quality that there is, there's always an opportunity for goals, I suppose. But yeah, let's get into a starting 11. Obviously, we've not got the standard GFX Supreme GFX that Geordie Pordy has, so we'll have to use buildlineup.com, man, because this is where we're at. You know what I mean? This is where City Extra are at right now, because Geordie's obviously is in Amsterdam, so we'll make it work. Obviously, no real discussion about the goalkeeper. Ederson's going to start in goal. I think obviously it's important tomorrow that the way that he plays out from the back, he normally does his normal stuff. He does his standard shit, and obviously we do that. We do that well. I think it's important for Ederson to be able to beat the press. If Liverpool do decide to press us, which I think there's a good chance they will press us, it's really important for the goalkeeper to be calm, composed, and be able to help us move up the football pitch as Ederson's done so well. It also helps if Ederson can pull off like a wonderful sort of goalkeeping display in terms of keeping the ball out of the net. Obviously, he is behind the likes of Alisson on that in terms of shot stopping. We could really do with a world-class performance from Ederson tomorrow. But let's move into the defence. Now, I've kind of already told you my defence on this because I've spoke about this all week. In fact, for the last 2 weeks, what I do. There's kind of no debate in my mind what I would like to see. But in terms of you, bro, give me what you would like to see, but also give me your sort of what you think will happen because there might be some differences there.
I've been converted slightly as the week has gone on. At the start of the week, I was kind of saying, you know what, I want to see I don't want to fix what's not broken and stick with Diaz and Akanji. I know Pep has gone with Diaz and Akanji. He's like Stones on right full back recently and Ake left full back. I'm going to switch it around a bit. What I would like is I want Kyle Walker to come back into his natural habitat. I want him to play right full back. I think he's absolutely huge for Darwin Núñez or Gakpo, whichever one plays on the left. They're both pretty fast players. They're both erratic. Particularly Núñez, the big word for him is chaotic, isn't it? He is chaotic. I think Walker is the man to lock down chaos. Walker will not crumble under chaos. I think he'll show his experience, and he's just a natural right back, isn't he? And then listen, I know we've picked up Akanji all week, but I want to go back to what I trust. I want to go back with what my gut tells me, what I feel good with. I want Diaz and I want John Stones. I want General John Stones back at right centre half or whoever plays on either side. Stones on the right, isn't he? Usually, and Diaz on the left. That's what I want. I want them. Stones has turned up against Liverpool loads of times. Goal line saving clearances, that kind of thing. Big challenges, experience, big moments. Big up to Akanji for everything you've done this season, but I need General John Stones to be the General John Stones tomorrow morning. Left back, man of the season other than Erling Haaland. I'm going with Nathan Ake. Mr. Consistency. He's locked down Saka already this season, and I believe he can lock down Salah as well. That's my back four. I think that is the most solid I can go with, but I don't want Walker bombing upfield. I don't want him getting involved in attacks too heavily. Get the ball, move it into midfield, leave whoever's in midfield to do that kind of dirty work. You stay back and keep an eye on that chaotic bastard Darwin Núñez. I just trust him, man. This is what I trust. What do you think on that?
Well, I mean, if it was me personally, I would run exactly the same. I think you keep it. The reason I do this, and I agree with Walker not going forward, I would just put out this defense, right? And I would put out that defense and say, look, your job tomorrow is not to get involved in the build-up play. It's not to invert into midfield. It's not to bomb down the wings and get crosses in. Your job for me tomorrow is to do your absolute utmost to try and keep them from scoring a goal. Keep another clean sheet. Stay solid. Stay tight. Don't give them no space. That's what I'm doing. Now, yes, okay, you're not really going to give the midfield and the attackers any real support from the defence. But in a game like this, and obviously we'll go to the midfield and attack. They shouldn't really, I know, if we create 2 or 3 chances, that should be enough. I'm looking at the back four here and going, keep the ball out the net for me. That's all I'm asking. Because remember, a draw, a 0-0, it ain't no end of the world. Okay, there'll still be some people who think that's rip, and that's fine. It's not the end of the world. What would be a lot closer to the end of the world, although I still don't think it's the end of the world, is if you lose the game. You don't concede the goal, you can't lose the game, right? So for me, that's what I would run. I doubt he's going to do that, though. I believe that Akanji will start tomorrow.
So do I. I think he's going to go with Akanji based on the very first thing I said. If it's not broken, don't fix it. I think Pep has earned a lot of trust from Akanji and vice versa. I think that's what he'll go with. But I want to see Stones for the reason that I said about Kyle Walker. I don't want Kyle Walker bombing up the pitch too much. So if there's not that extra support in midfield, I want my best ball playing centre halves there who'll be composed, pick the right passes, and unlock that Liverpool press if they press high. I think John Stones is best for that. I think Akanji will be fine in defence. I want to make that clear. I think Akanji on the defensive side of things, I think he'd be perfectly fine. But in terms of ball playing, if we're lacking a midfielder, which I want us to be, with Kyle Walker holding back a bit more, John Stones is the better ball player for me in that situation. So I would rather see that. But yeah, I think so, Matt. I think it'll be Diaz Akanji.
Yeah, I think Akanji will likely start tomorrow. I wouldn't personally start him. Now, the only real thing that I can look at this defence, and it's something that we mentioned a few moments ago, that doesn't help us do it. If you don't have an inverted fullback, the chances of us completely dominating the midfield are ever so slightly lowered, of course, because you've not got that extra man. If we can get an extra man into that midfield, then we should be able to properly dominate that midfield. I think that's the call that Pep Guardiola has to make. And I think if he goes for that inverted player, I think that's where Akanji will fit in. It's one of them. How brave does Pep want to be? For me, I'm not looking. I ain't being that brave in this position. I'm looking at the defense and going, you know what? I don't want to see an inverted player. I want to just be solid at the back and try and nick it. If you want to be brave, you could potentially switch out, I don't know, Stones for Walker maybe, or Akanji, and then put Rico Lewis in if you want to be brave, or Bernardo Silva at left back like he did at Notts Forest, and get that extra man in midfield. That will really, really help you dominate that midfield because you got that extra man there. But obviously, the slightly negative side to that is that you then only have the 3 in the defence, and I don't think it's quite as a solid back line. I think everyone would agree with that because you've only got 3 players. You've got players playing in a position that they're not really used to. So for me, it's how brave is Pep Guardiola going to be tomorrow? I think if he plays an inverted midfielder, he's starting that game and he's playing that game tomorrow, and he's saying, you know what, I want to fucking beat these. And that's what he's doing. He's sending the team out to say, I don't care what happens at the back, go and score me goals. If he plays it like this, like we've gone for, and to be fair, you can play the same back 4 and take Stones out for Akanji if he wanted to, although I personally wouldn't do that, but he loves Akanji, right? Then maybe he's going with us on the sense of, let's just be solid at the back and see what we can do going forward, rather than going kind of ham to absolutely bombard the midfield.
I think if Akanji starts on the right side of centre half, Kyle Walker won't play at all. I think John Stones will start right full back, and he'll act as that extra man in midfield because technically John Stones is a better footballer than Kyle Walker. I think it'll be the exact same backline that we saw at Crystal Palace and the one after that as well. That's what. So I think if we go for the back three, it'll be John Stones on the rightful back position as the extra midfielder. So it just depends. It all hinges on who's that other centre half. Is it Diaz or is it Stones or is it Akanji? Basically, that determines who's going to play where and what kind of system we're going to play as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, the defense. There's only a few. There's a few decisions that Pep Guardiola's got to make tomorrow. There's not loads of decisions, but there's a few decisions, and the decisions that he's got to make are absolutely huge. The defense is one of the decisions he's got to make. I'd go with this. You go with that. I think it's a solid back four. I've done a poll in the chat. 61% of people say Akanji shouldn't start tomorrow. 40% of people, near enough, say Akanji should start tomorrow. So again, pretty split between the people in the stream. And that's understandable because Akanji has been very solid this season. I personally would run this, but it's no, Carl, Laporte's not going to start, bro. No chance Laporte comes in for this. No. He'll be on the bench. He'll be on the bench. Let's move into midfield then. Obviously, Rodri's going to play in CDM. We all know that. I think if you asked me this question a couple of weeks ago, we spoke about Kevin De Bruyne. I think there would have been a real conversation about whether Kevin De Bruyne starts this game or not. Over the last 2-3 weeks, including international football, I think he's, for me, got himself in a little bit of a better rhythm, better form. Seems like he's a bit sharper, a little bit quicker. So for me, if you asked me this question, I don't know, 4 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago, maybe there would have been a debate about whether or not KDB gets in the team. But in my opinion, bro, the way that he's been playing in his last couple of weeks, he has to start the game.
Yeah, no conversation over Rodri. Very little conversation over De Bruyne. I think everything you said is spot on. He's earned that place back to be straight into the starting 11. And, you know, he has put in great performances. And he was great for Belgium as well over the international break. He got himself a goal and an assist, I believe, and won the game. So it didn't let up for him when he went to play for his national team. Yeah, I think they're two shoe-ins. The big question now is who plays beside De Bruyne, because I think there's pretty good arguments for either or of Gundo or Bernardo. Where do you stand with this one?
1 second. I'm just going to quickly. There we go. I'm going to put a poll in the chat because I think this is one of the crucial decisions. Okay, so for me,
this is for me. This is possibly the biggest decision on the pitch.
I agree. I think I agree with that because I don't think he's going to get an inverted fullback in this game. I think that's too brave. I think that's a courageous move. So I think he does play a pretty solid back four. And whether you play Stones or Akanji, while Stones is by far the superior centre-back, you can't knock him for playing Akanji out with how well he's played this season. Going into the midfield, this is where it gets really, really interesting. So let's have a look at the pros and the cons of both players. Let's start off with Ilkay Gundogan. Okay, gets more goals than Bernardo Silva, gets more assists than Bernardo Silva. Probably a little bit better at pauser and keeping that ball and keeping the ball tight than Bernardo Silva. Cons on Ilkay Gundogan, slower than Bernardo Silva, doesn't have the energy of Bernardo Silva. For Bernardo Silva, I think he plays his best football matches in big games, in my opinion. I think it's where he comes alive in big games. He's got that energy that can help out the midfield. He can sit next to Rodri if we're under a little bit of pressure. He can even drop back into sort of pick the ball up off Diaz and Stones if we're really struggling that way. He can also play further up, but he's nowhere near as good as Ilkay Gundogan further up the pitch. The higher up the pitch you go, despite the fact that Bernardo Silva's actually got quite a few big goals, especially since the World Cup, he's not as good as Ilkay Gundogan at creating chances, and he's not as good as Ilkay Gundogan getting goals. The stats prove you that. The eye test proves you that. So it's a case of, what do? Do you want to play a player who's more likely to get you a goal or an assist in Ilkay Gundogan? Or do you want to get a player in there who gives you more energy, probably better if we say we lose the ball and Liverpool start counter-attacking us, and we need some more energy in there to help stop the transition for Liverpool? Probably better at that as well. Again, I think it's a really, really tough call and I agree with you, actually. I think this is probably the hardest decision that Pep Guardiola's got to make.
I'm just going to go straight into it. I'm leaning towards. I see all your arguments, and I fully get what each of them offer. But to start the game, I'm going with Bernardo Silva. I'm personally going with Bernardo Silva because I think with everything we've said about Liverpool's midfield, about how they've deteriorated, they lack energy, I could see Bernardo Silva making an absolute fool out of the likes of Fabinho, an absolute fool out of the likes of Henderson, and just run them around, run them ragged, absolutely run them into the ground. Because who do Liverpool bring on from the bench to play in midfield that's going to really help them if they're stuck? I think Bernardo Silva will just tire them out. He will offer us everything you've spoken about. And then if we need to shore up the game with 15, 20 minutes to go, you bring on Mr. Composure. You bring on Mr. Porza in Gundogan. I'm leaning towards the energy. I think this is a time for us to put Liverpool to the sword via intensity and energy. And Bernardo's going to do that for me. I think I'm going with Bernardo anyway.
I find this decision almost impossible. Almost impossible, because I hear what you say about the fact that Bernardo Silva could run Liverpool's midfield ragged. And I completely agree. I don't think there's any doubt in that. But if Liverpool are a little bit more pragmatic tomorrow, if they go into the game tomorrow thinking, you know what, we don't need to go for this. We take a point here and it's a good result. And they sit back a little bit, I think that you might look at it and go Gundogan. But the fact is, I don't know what they're going to do, Liverpool. In the end, I have to go with what I mentioned at the beginning about the midfield battle. And who do I believe will give us the most, the best potential to win that midfield battle and completely dominate it? And I think in this particular game, with the midfield that Liverpool are playing, I think that is Bernardo Silva, because of the energy that he gives us. He can run around that midfield. He can make sprints. You know, he can press Liverpool's midfield. He can move around the pitch. So for me, I think it's an extremely difficult call. And to be honest, I'm not even that confident in it myself, the call. But I'm just saying it because I just think that if the midfield battle is what is going to make us win or lose the game tomorrow, I have to go with Bernardo Silva for the energy. And let's be honest, if the game is 0-0 with 15, 20 minutes to go, you can throw on Ilkay Gundogan for the last 15 minutes and say, go and get me a goal, go and create me a goal. Whereas if it's 0-0 after 70 minutes and you're throwing on Bernardo Silva for Ilkay Gundogan, then for me, that's actually the opposite way around. Because Ilkay Gundogan's the person that's more likely to get you a goal. So it's extremely difficult. The poll, I done a poll in the chat. And again, you know, the guys watching the stream this evening are struggling to agree. We've had over 200 votes on this poll. We've got 59% of people agreeing with me and you, say Bernardo Silva should start the game. 42%, which is a large proportion of the chat, are saying Ilkay Gundogan should start. So it's not easy, is it? It's not easy.
No, it's the biggest call on the pitch, like I said, and they both offer such great things, but they're both such different things. And like you said, you don't know what Liverpool are going to set up with, but if we are to start with Bernardo and Pep does go with the midfield we've gone with, it does put more pressure on the other attacking players to turn up with goals. You know, De Bruyne has to be clinical. Whoever plays neither wing needs to be able to take their chances, and whoever the number 9 is needs to take their chances. And we also need those players as well to be more creative, because Bernardo doesn't have the same killer pass that Ilkay Gundogan does. So it's pick your poison, really. Which one do you think is going to do the job for you over the longer period of the game? Because I don't think whichever one starts the game will finish the game. In all honesty, I think if Bernardo starts and does what I said and brings the intensity, brings the energy, and just tires out that Liverpool midfield, Gundogan will come up or will come on to pick up those scraps and tidy things up and just see it out nice and calm, full composure, no mistakes kind of thing. But if Gundogan starts and he's not doing the business, you bring on Bernardo to inject that energy, inject that intensity, inject that pace that wasn't already there, that Liverpool didn't have to deal with in the first place. So it's a massive, massive call.
100%. People, make sure you've dropped a like on the stream. We've got over 600 people watching. Hopefully, you guys are all doing well, man. Let's get those likes past 300, innit? We need, 80 people to hit that thumbs up button to get us past 300 likes. Just helps other fans find this channel. If you are new here, please make sure you subscribe to the channel. Trying to get towards 75,000 subscribers. Make sure you hit the button, completely free to subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos, shorts, or live streams when they get uploaded. And of course, massive shout out to the guys at Boohoo Man for sponsoring today's stream. If you guys want to pick up yourself anything from Boohoo Man, that's clothes, accessories like shoes, bags, socks, underwear, anything like that, go and check it out. Use the link in the description or pinned comment And when you get to the checkout, use code CityExtra. And if there's any discounts that'll be applied, it will whack them on for you. You get yourself some nice clothes and shit, and you help support the channel. So big up Boohoo Man for sponsoring today's stream. We've also got a super chat coming in from Geordie Porter is my dad. He says this. He says, stop talking for a second, Bray. Thank you for your content, and you're so consistent. Hugh is an amazing addition. I subbed to you boys in July 2020. Big up, Geordie Poddy is my dad. That's a long time, man. I appreciate the support there. We're getting on nearly 3 years, bro, of being subscribed. And Hugh is a great addition to the channel. Am I right in saying that, bro? Are you a good addition to the channel? Oh, I think I've lost you. Have I lost you? Why have I lost you? Oh. Have I lost you, bro? Can you hear me? Oh, well, look at that. We're just saying he's a great addition to the channel, unless it's me.
Bro, my mic's moving mad, man. I told you this before the stream. This mic's moving mad. Bro, it just cuts out every like half an hour, and I have to replug it back in. So bear with me, people. If I go silent ever, it's just because the mic's moving mad. I've got a new one on the way, though.
Bro, so that was the worst time to fucking get him out. I was just like, this guy sent a donation. It's like, who's a great addition to the channel? I was like, yeah, he is. Are you a great addition to the channel? And then boom, Mike dies.
Nah, man, that's my mic, man. It's acting the bollocks, but we've got a new one on the way. But listen, big up Geordie Porter's my dad for the comment, man. And listen, that's a long time, man. That's about a month or two after you started making content in the first place, wasn't it?
Truth, yeah. OG, exactly. Before we get into the attack, we've also got another super chat here from Solomon. Says Gundogan centre mid and Bernardo Silva right wing. Pep won't start Mahrez, says Solomon. Now, Solomon, I need you to explain here why you think Mahrez won't start in this game. Because I don't know about you, Hugh. I don't think we spoke about this on stream or even off stream. For me, this right wing position here, it's got the Algerian king's name all over it, in my opinion. Like, I don't
no
see
conversation, man. No conversation, no comment from me, man. It's the Algerian king, the Ramadan beast, whatever you want to call him. Riyad Mahrez, he's built for this stage of the season. He's built for these big occasions. And he's been playing well recently as well. He played well for Algeria, I hear, over the international break. So I want to see him turn up. And listen, whatever you think about not having Phil Foden, when Mahrez has played since Christmas anyway, he's been quite good. Him and Grealish have been quite good. So I'm perfectly happy to see Riyad Mahrez play. I've seen some people in the chat saying Bernardo may play in the right wing. Have you any thoughts on that?
I think it's possible. I think he could go Gundogan in the middle and Bernardo right wing. And I've just put a poll in the chat, guys, so make sure you have your vote on that. But for me, the form that Riyad Mahrez is in fact, you know what? I'm going to have to bring this up on screen because I still don't think people realise just how good Mahrez has been in recent form. The form that Mahrez has been in the Premier League recently, in his starts, have been absolutely phenomenal. He scored a goal for Algeria, also got a crucial assist. So I think he's been absolutely crucial. In fact, let me just share this here. This is Riyad Mahrez's form. This is Premier League games. This is Premier League games. So this obviously didn't start the game. Started this one, fired a blank, subbed off after an hour. Goal and assist in this start. Started this one, didn't get anything against Spurs. Started this one, got an assist. Started this one, got 2 goals and an assist. So if you look at them sort of 5 games, right? The last 5 starts in the Premier League for Riyad Mahrez, 3 goals and 3 assists. He scored for Algeria. He got an assist for Algeria. For me personally, I can't not put him in my team. I just can't. It's Ramadan Mahrez. This is what we've been waiting for. We've been waiting all season for this. He's in hot form. His stats prove he's in hot form. He was cooking for Algeria, and it's Ramadan. You know, the guy turns into an absolute animal, man. For me, I'm sorry. I know I see why Solomon, I see why some people in the chat are saying, nah, play Bernardo right wing, Gundogan centre mid. Me personally, I got to play Mahrez, bro. I got to play Mahrez.
Yeah, I got to play Mahrez too. I think people overlook Mahrez and his great stats just because this is what Mahrez does, man. He's always done this. He's always been pretty consistent with his GNA, so it doesn't come as a big shock or it doesn't really catch the headlines when he does it, but he's just Mr. Consistent, especially this time of the year. So I'm full sending Riyad Mahrez tomorrow morning.
To be fair, Solomon does say he wants Mahrez, but he just thinks Pep will go Bernardo Silva. And by the way, I would just say, I think he will play Mahrez, but it wouldn't surprise me if he did play Gundogan in the middle and Bernardo right wing. I do think that's a potential option for Pep Guardiola, but in my opinion, he should play Mahrez, and I think he will end up going Mahrez. Mahrez is in just too good form, and especially if Haaland doesn't play, which we obviously will come to in a minute, you need players who get you goals. Jack Grealish doesn't get you goals. Bernardo Silva doesn't get you that many goals or assists. Riyad Mahrez is the guy who gets you goals or assists. He's got to play the game for me. He really does. He has to play. So
I don't think Andy Robertson has had the best season of his life. I've watched Liverpool a fair bit this season. I think Andy Robertson has some mistakes in him. I think defensively he hasn't been as solid as he has been in recent years. Is that to do with their midfield being a lot more lackluster than before? I don't know, but I think Riyad Mahrez could give Andy Robertson an awful time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I always feel that even if we've lost the game or something or whatever, I always feel that Mahrez has something over Andy Robertson. Even in games where maybe, Mahrez didn't really cook, I always just feel that Mahrez he has something on him. And I'm not saying he smokes him every game. I'm not saying that. If Liverpool fans are watching and saying, oh, what are you on about? I'm not saying that he smokes him. I just feel that even if he's come off the pitch, Mahrez, and hasn't really done a lot, I always get the feeling that, you could have smoked him today. Or he has smoked him. So for me, it's got to be Riyad Mahrez. We'll go with Riyad Mahrez. Thanos, by the way, says KDB on the right wing. I think KDB will probably drift over to the right wing as he normally does and gets the crosses in. Whether that'll differentiate with Haaland potentially not playing, and again, it's Pep Guardiola, so I don't see it happening. But I wouldn't rule anything out, Thanos. I wouldn't rule anything out because it's Pep Guardiola, and you know what the guy's like. He does what he wants, isn't it?
As well on that, I think if Mahrez starts and so does Kyle Walker, Mahrez has to be prepared to track back a bit more, because if we want Walker to sit back and hold that defensive line, there's going to be more ground for Mahrez to cover, which is why I think some people saying Bernardo to start could be true. If Kyle Walker starts right full back, Bernardo is much more likely to track back than Riyad Mahrez. Bernardo has that tenacity to chase a winger from his own position. So that's something to bear in mind. Who's more likely to make that nasty run back? So if Mahrez does get the nod, you hope he makes that effort.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, like I say, I think the right wing position, it wouldn't surprise me if he played Bernardo. It really wouldn't, and I would be okay with it. But for me, I've got to look at the form of the players, and I'm looking at Mahrez, and I think he's in exceptional form, and I think it's time to cook. Let's go over to the other side. He's literally the only player that can play that position right now, isn't it? Grealish.
Jackie G&A, baby. Jackie G&A going to score tomorrow. Clip that up. I've got a really good feeling about this. I don't say this often, but I've got a really, really good feeling about this. I said it earlier in the week. Grealish needs to step up and prove himself properly in the high-pressure situation. I think he's been building up to this all season. It's time for him to click, time for him to put himself on the map. I've got a serious feeling about Jack Grealish tomorrow morning.
Okay. I think that it's... I think Jack Grealish had a good season. I do. And I think that he's been playing some good football. But for me, he needs... I'm saying this, and I know people are like, it's not his game. He needs to be getting more goals and assists. And I think, he played well against Liverpool. He plays well in big games. And I think this is a game. You know what? With Jack Grealish, in a non-violent way, I'd love to get him and shake him and say, you're the fucking man. You're the fucking man, Jack. Go on and fucking smack him, lad. I feel like people are too nice to Jack. I feel like someone needs to grab him and say, go on and fucking smash him up. You know what I mean? Go out there and give him everything, bro. You know what I mean? Take man on with power. Take a man on. Boom. Have a shot. You know what I mean? I feel like we need to get into him, man. Not in a nasty way, not in an aggressive way. In a sort of like, sometimes like you got to G your mate up. Say your mate's nervous for an interview, or I don't know, you don't want to go on the ride at the fair. You know what I mean? He's scared of roller coasters. And you get him and you go, bro, just fucking go on it. Nothing's good. I feel like we need to do that with Jack Grealish and be like, look, lad, you've been playing really well this season. You have. You've been playing mint. But now, this is the time to shine. This is the time that you go out on that pitch and you believe that you belong at this level. These guys at Aston Villa for a long time, yeah? You belong at this level. You belong in teams that are fighting for Premier Leagues, going against a great side in Liverpool, and a game that we have to win. And you belong on that pitch. So go and fucking make it happen, lad. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I'm saying to Jack Grealish tomorrow, go out there and fucking show us what you're really worth. Now, if you want to pass the ball left and right, do that. You want to win a few fouls, big up, yeah? Play nice. But tomorrow's your time to shine. It's time to get stuck in. It's time to do the dirty side of the game, the dark arts. And when you have that moment to strike, fucking strike. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man, I love that. I absolutely love that, and I agree with absolutely everything you said. And you know what? He didn't get the nod at Anfield, and he really should have, because I think he would have had Milner on toast.
Agreed.
Grealish was in great form that day. Hey, Matali saying Hugh trying to make Jackie G&A a thing. If Jackie G&A scores tomorrow, he's Jackie G&A, simple as, and we're running that line. It's becoming a thing, but I think he'll want to make a statement tomorrow for a multitude of reasons. And you know what? Like I said about Robertson, Trent defensive this season has been absolutely appalling. Jack Grealish should fancy himself up against Trent Alexander-Arnold. I don't see why he can't, man. I think he can put in a massive performance.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Let's do it, Jack. Right, let's move into the striker position because this is actually very, very interesting. Now, we've spoke about this at length throughout the week. In fact, the last 2 weeks, because it's Haaland's injury. Let's quickly say, I feel like this last 2 weeks has gone really quick. Like now, at the time, I felt I was going slow, but now I'm like, shit, I'd rather go back inside 2 weeks because this game's so big.
We were busy telling everybody to chill out and just put their feet up and all that kind of thing. And reality is we were just trying to get back to football. Now it's here. It's like, oh, shit, it's here now. It's business end now. There's no running.
Okay, so options here, chat. Options here. Let me just end the current poll. By the way, 62% of people said Riyad Mahrez for right wing. 38% of people said Bernardo Silva. So again, this decision about right wing, just like the Gundogan or Bernardo in the midfield, is a really, really tricky situation. Okay, so the choices that we have, right, for strikers, we got Julian Alvarez. We've got Erling Haaland. We've got false nine. Now, some information that has just been released via our best friend, trusted confidant, Tommy's hairdo. Have a look at this.
Is this what you said I didn't know yet?
I mean, I guess you didn't know. I mean, you might have known it, but I don't know.
I didn't know this. I didn't know this.
Look at this. This is from Tommy's hairdo, who he's an ITK. Is he an ITK? No one will ever know. Is he just guessing? Is he a real G? I don't know. But I respect him. Tommy's hairdo. He's a guy off Blooming Forum.
No. I know Tommy's hairdo, but
who's the actual guy? Well, this is the thing. This is what makes it so interesting. No one actually knows who he is. All we know is a fan of Tommy's hairdo, right? So I believe this guy has pretty good info, good intel. He's saying, and some people might be like, nah, this guy don't know shit. And that's fair, right? Whatever. I believe he knows what he's talking about. I believe that he has a relatively good degree of insider knowledge at Manchester City. And he's saying Erling Haaland has asked to play the game. Tough call. And he says, unleash the Viking for an hour. If that is true, that tells me that, I mean, and not only if it's true, I kind of already believe this. I believe that minimum, Haaland is fit enough to be on the bench tomorrow. I don't think his injury is a situation where he's just completely not fit and he won't even be in the squad. I think he'll be in the squad. The question is, do you risk Erling Haaland tomorrow? With the games, bearing in mind, we've got a week off after today, after tomorrow. We've got a week off until Southampton. And you might even be able to get away with not playing him against Southampton. You could play Alvarez. The big one is you do not want to get him missed against Bayern Munich, which is a week or Tuesday, week or Wednesday. So what do you do here? What do you do? Do you risk Haaland? Possibly aggravate his injury? But if you don't aggravate his injury, you've got Erling Haaland on the pitch. But also, is he fully fit? Will he be actually able to play the match intensity? I always say, I said it this morning, remember the Harry Kane situation in the Champions League final? Pochettino risked playing Kane. You look back at it now and think, what an idiot. The guy was never fit, shouldn't have played him. So do you play him and hope he's fit enough to actually make a difference? Possibly aggravate his injury. But he actually could make you worse if he's not fully fit. What do you do? Or do you play Alvarez? Or do you go back to false nine, which some people want us to do?
I've been having this debate with myself all day, genuinely all day. I really have. I know we said the Bernardo versus Gundo was the biggest call on the pitch, but this is probably equally as big. It's definitely equally as big, considering the circumstances. But I've gone back on myself. I've gone back on myself, people. I want to start Haaland. I want to start Erling Haaland. I want
You
to
ain't.
start Erling Haaland. I want to start Erling Haaland. I'm saying it now to convince myself. I want to start Erling Haaland because you know what? It's do or die at this stage, man. It's do or die. I think if he's trained today with the team, I think if he trained yesterday 1-to-1 with the guy indoors, and there's been no issue since then, I think play him. I think play him and give him an hour, see what he can do. That Liverpool defense is there to be God. Van Dijk's getting pelters. He's getting pelters from his national team. His own fans saying he's too cocky. He doesn't care enough anymore. Haaland is that ruthless bastard to go in and tear them apart. I'm saying start Haaland. Tomorrow is huge, man. Tomorrow's the biggest game of the season, bar none so far. Put out the big man.
Interesting. Just incidentally, the embargoed section of the press conference has just been released. This is what Pep Guardiola had to say earlier on today on whether Alvarez will play if Erling Haaland is unavailable. He said, maybe I'll play with 3 false nines. We will see. I don't know if that's maybe that's a little bit of sarcasm there. I'm not entirely sure. It's difficult to see without actually watching the video, but we can't see that because we're live streaming. I'll just quickly run through some of the other comments that he's made just while we're at it before we continue this striker debate. He says, still I'm waiting. The champagne is in the fridge for the moment we qualify for the Champions League next season. Still, we have not done it. This is the only thing I care about, says Pep Guardiola. Let's see what else is
He's a joker, man. He's a joker.
He is. He does. He loves a good joke, doesn't he? He also says this. He says, I have the feeling I've lived a fairy tale history in Manchester. You love me a lot and take care of me and the team incredibly well. We won a lot, and that's why the storms were less. But the moment we lose, the storm will come. Let me zoom in on that so people can see it properly. Yeah, obviously, again, this is embargoed section. This is only just coming out right now. Make sure you follow City Xtra on all the socials so you get this straight to your device. Let's see what else is coming out. Yeah, I mean, we'll carry on that in a minute. Let's go back to the striker debate. So you'd risk it, right? You're saying you're going to risk it.
Yeah.
Brother, this is a
yeah. I'm here. I said yeah. I play Haaland, man. Play Haaland.
Yeah, for me, this is an incredibly difficult choice, and I just don't know what to do, man. I don't know what I do. Like on one hand, I'm like, yeah, you know what? Fuck it, risk it. Play him for an hour. He's got a week off. But then I'm just like, what about if he aggravates his injury and he's out for 2 weeks and he misses Bayern Munich?
Bro, you got to live in the moment, man. You got to live in the moment. Tomorrow's the biggest game of the season. He's our best chance at goals. I don't think he's as bad as we initially thought. He trained today with the first team, the whole squad, normal session, full shebang. Send him, man. Send him. Give him an hour. You're thinking about problems that haven't even come up yet, man.
I know. It is. It's difficult, brother.
Pep is smarter than both of us. Pep, that's why he is where he is. He's got the big brains. That's why he's on the big cash. Pep would not even consider playing Haaland if he was not fit to play. You wouldn't risk him. He's fit to play. Play him. I listen, people in the chat saying they want Alvarez. I'm with you, man. If Haaland can play, I'm fully happy with Alvarez. If the team sheet comes out tomorrow and it's Alvarez, I'm happy with that. I believe Alvarez can score goals and do damage too. I'm fully with you. I'm not shitting on Alvarez for 1 second. I'm just saying, I think the big man's fit, and I think there's been some mind games played this week by Mr. Guardiola.
I'm risking it.
Oh, he's risking it. Press the siren, press something. Bit of a soundboard or something. Come on, man. He's risking it.
I'm risking it, man. I'm risking it.
Oh, shit. It's serious. It's serious. He's risking it. He's risking it all. He's risking it all. Risking it for a biscuit. Come on.
I'm risking it. You know what? You know what it is? I got to risk it, man. Like, someone in the chat then just put LB. Liverpool is a bigger game than Bayern Munich. And I agree. It is a bigger game than Bayern Munich. And let's be honest. Playing for an hour. When do we play Bayern Munich? We play Bayern Munich 11th of April, right? So he's still got 10 days You'll have 10 days after tomorrow. 10 days to recover. Even if you're just playing for an hour. Even if you just play for that. And even so, Bayern Munich is a two-legged game. So even if even if he's not in that first leg, there's still a second leg. We're not going to lose the game 3-0 against Bayern Munich if Erling Haaland doesn't play. All right, you might not win the game, you might draw the game, might even lose the game 1-0. You're not going to get battered 2-3-0 just because Haaland's not in the team. I'm risking it. I've completely changed my mind on this. I'm going to risk it.
But the caveat to me saying risk it is he don't play in Southampton. I want Alvarez to start that game, and
Agreed.
I want Alvarez to lead the line there. Alvarez, you are the man in Southampton. And you know what I'm even saying? If for whatever reason Haaland doesn't start against Bayern Munich, I'm happy with that. We're forgetting. Some of us. I know not a lot of you aren't, because a lot of you are bigging up Alvarez. This guy is also sick. This guy can score goals. This guy can cause problems to any defense in the world. World Cup winner for a reason. Play Haaland tomorrow. Alvarez, you're the man down in St. Mary's. That's your game. What do you think?
I agree. Play Haaland tomorrow. Fuck it. Risk it. You got to risk it. And then play Alvarez against Southampton, which, by the way, is just equally a bigger game. Because if anything, it's more of a bigger game because they play Liverpool. So we need to win that game because that's the game though where we if we are still in the race, if we don't get beat tomorrow, that's the game where we potentially might get some points on Arsenal, right? Because we could beat Southampton and they could potentially drop points against Liverpool. So it's arguably a bigger game next weekend. So and you know what? Fuck it. You know, Pep Guardiola said in the press conference, life's about risks, and this is a game I think we've just got to risk it. I think we got to risk it, man. I get the chat. The chat ain't with us, bro. The chat, 57% of the chat, 58% of the chat's like, nah, they want Alvarez. 37% are with us and want Haaland, are saying risk it, play Haaland. And 5% are saying play a false 9.
Nah, forget the false 9, man. Chat, you have to live in the moment. Tomorrow, for me anyway, as someone who values the Premier League over the Champions League, it's a bigger game than Bayern Munich. I want Haaland to be aggressive tomorrow. I want him on the pitch. And if what Tommy is saying is true, that Haaland is asked to play and he wants to play, he's got something for us. He's got something for us and he's got something for Liverpool. Play him, man. Play him. We brought him in for the big games.
Big up Anthony with a $5 donation. Says it's going to be a real good game tonight at 10 p.m. Australia time. Man City 4-0 victory. Yes, that's a decent time.
That's a sick time, man. You can be well on the beers for that. That's a sick time.
That's it. That's a good time. We've got a couple of member chats coming in here as well. Big up Asgar with a 13 months. Says Haaland should start. He literally only needs 15 minutes to end Liverpool. Says Asgar S with a 13 months. Big fan of Haaland and wants him to start. However, on the flip side, Brand Holt with a 5 months says give Alvarez a chance. Watch him score a hat-trick. So, I mean, you're with the majority there. Brand. I mean, the majority of people in this stream want Alvarez to start. 57%.
Look, the way I look at it is, and it's no disrespect whatsoever to Alvarez. Like, I've bigged him up enough. You should understand how much I rate Julian Alvarez. But Haaland does have the edge on Alvarez. Haaland is the player in this team who can take the game away from Liverpool in 15, 20 minutes. And you know what? In an ideal world, Haaland does take the game away from Liverpool inside half an hour, inside one half, bang, 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 3 chances. He puts them all to bed, take him off at halftime. That would be the most beautiful scenario possible. Haaland kills them, Alvarez comes on, and he has a bit of fun as well. That's what I'm hoping for. He can take the game away.
Agreed. Guys, make sure you drop a like on the stream if you've not done so already. Let's get them likes over 400. Hit that thumbs up button, man. 300 likes already. 623 people in the stream. Let's get those likes up. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Big up to Boohoo, man. Links in the description. Pinned comment. You guys want to pick up yourself any clothes, accessories, Boohoo, man, is the place to go. The link and stuff is in the description. Use code CityXtra at checkout for an extra 10% off your order. Let me get up some other comments from Pep Guardiola's embargoed section of the press conference. He says, I'd love to be in this position. I'd love to be in Arsenal's position to have won 4 Premier League titles in the last 5 years. I would prefer to be in Arsenal's position in the Premier League than what we have now. And I will give the experience to them. He says, the advantage is being 8 points in front of us. This is a real advantage. The past is the past. Experience doesn't count. absolutely nothing, says Pep Guardiola. He's putting pressure on there. He's putting pressure on Arsenal, isn't he? He has to be putting pressure on Arsenal. He ain't saying that. He don't believe that. He don't believe that. No way.
He's done this before, man. He did it that time we were 10 or 11 points behind Liverpool in December, January. He said the league was over. Like, he knows exactly what he's doing. He's using every trick in the book that he's used over the years in title races. And listen, can you blame him, man? It's worked enough for him. So, yeah, if he's saying Arsenal have won the league if we lose tomorrow, fair enough, man. Let Arsenal believe that.
100%. Big up old Bade with the 2. Says his name
back.
is Spider-Man Hugh.
My bad, man. My bad. Listen, good to see you, Obey, man. You've been missed.
So let's have a look at that team again. This is the team that me and Hugh would pick if we was the manager of Manchester City. We would go with Ederson in goal. We would go Kyle Walker at right back, John Stones, Ruben Diaz at centre half, with Nathan Ake coming in at left back, Rodri in the CDM position. We had a real difficult call on Ilkay Gundogan versus Bernardo Silva, but we felt that Bernardo would just give us that energy that we might need in the midfield, and KDB, with his recent form, has to start. We've gone with Riyad Mahrez at right wing, Jack Grealish at left wing, and again, another incredibly difficult decision. Big news coming out tonight. If you believe that Tommy's hairdo is a real source, is ITK, apparently Erling Haaland has asked to play in the game tomorrow. And with a week off until the next game, and that game being Southampton before Bayern Munich, the following week, midweek. So you've got 10 days to recover. We have at last second changed our mind, and we have gone for Erling Haaland to start. Maybe not the full 90 minutes, maybe only give him an hour or so, but we have gone Erling Haaland to start this football match. It's madness, bro. This game is huge, bro. I can't believe how big this game is, man.
I back it, man. I back it. I'm sitting here looking at these 11 players, and these are the 11 players I'd want. You know what? The only change I would make in the whole world, if I possibly could, is I'd have Phil Foden in there. But other than that, I think this team is absolutely perfect. Pick up where we left off before the international break, and let's get this train moving, man. Let's put the pressure on these guys. They haven't been there before. They haven't done this with us before. They haven't done this tango. They haven't done this dance. It's our time to shine. The shark is swimming, people. Come on.
The shark is swimming. Big up Obey with another super chat. Says, I'm back, lads. Had a few family things to deal with. Hopefully everything's good, Obeyed.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, not seen you in a while. Hopefully everything's decent, bro. Hopefully in the stream tomorrow. It's going to be a madness. Liverpool versus Manchester City at the Etihad tomorrow. Look, it's a 12:30 kickoff. We win the game. We bring the gap temporarily back to 5 points before Arsenal take on Leeds at the Emirates. Leeds is still in a relegation scrap there, of course. They'll hopefully put up a decent performance. I do expect Arsenal to win that game, though. This match between City and Liverpool is massive. It's absolutely massive. It's always been massive. It's been massive in the sense that when in the last 4 to 5 years, we've been in this title race. It's been a real clash. It's emotionally damaging. It takes it out of us. It's taking it out of us in a slightly different sense this time. Not in the sense that Liverpool are our position, but we know how good Liverpool are. And I think that, possibly Manchester City as a club, as a fan base, are one of the, probably respect Liverpool this season more than anyone. I've seen a lot of people who support United, Arsenal, Chelsea, Tottenham, sort of laugh at Liverpool. Maybe not Chelsea because they're shit as well. Maybe laugh at Liverpool this season. I've never once really laughed at Liverpool. I've always believed Liverpool would still have a great push towards the end of the season. Why? Because I respect them so much. I know what this team is capable of. We've seen it with our own eyes. I ain't going into this game thinking, we're playing 6th place Liverpool. I don't give a fuck. I don't care whether Liverpool are 2nd, 1st, 10th, 20th. I know what this team is capable of. They're an excellent side, regardless of how shit the midfield is. And if Klopp gets the tactics right, it could be tricky. We got to go out there tomorrow, and we got to do our own thing. We got to believe in our performance. I need Diaz to lead from the back. I need him to marshal that defence. I need the defenders, Kyle Walker, Diaz, whether it be Stones or Kanji, whoever, Ake. I need these guys to be solid. I need Ederson's passing to be on point. I need Rodri to dominate that midfield, control possession, control the play. I need Kevin De Bruyne to be active, to be alive, to show us the Kevin De Bruyne that we saw at the end of last season, where he was tearing teams apart. I need Mahrez to cook. I need Grealish to get the G&A. And whether it be Alvarez or whether it be Haaland, just give me passion, man. Give me everything you got up there. And if you get that chance, do everything you can to put that ball in the back of the net. And I need, for more than anything, I need everyone in this stream to believe that we can beat Liverpool tomorrow. We need to go into that game, man, and believe that we can win. Because if we don't believe, don't turn up, because we won't win. We got to go into that game tomorrow believing that we're going to get them 3 points. I believe. I'm nervous as shit. Don't get me wrong. I'm scared. I could cry up. I could tear up right now. But I still believe, bro. I still believe in this team. And tomorrow when we go out there at 12:30, when the referee blows his whistle, I'm going to be right behind the boys, man. I'm going to get right behind the boys. This is it. This is the time to show up. There ain't no time for talking no more. This is it. It's done. Over.
Score prediction.
2-0 Liverpool.
Hey, yo.
Look, I think it's going to be a tight game. I personally don't see there being that many goals. I think I'm going to go for a 1-0 City win. I think we're going to nick it.
Okay, that's tight, man. I don't like the sound of that either. I don't like the sound of a 1-0. I want Haaland to start, and I want him to take the game away from them. I'm going with a 3-1 Manchester City, and I want this on record. Jack Grealish is going to score tomorrow.
Okay. Big up JV. It says, LB, why it's okay to delay Diaz for 2 weeks, but not Erling? Here, I'm going to pass that question on to you, bro.
Different stage of the season, man. Different stage of the season, and Haaland is that man. Haaland is the man for tomorrow. Listen, Akanji and Ake, they held it down. They held it down for us in that part of the pitch for a long time. But Haaland, man, the time is of the essence. We need you.
Yeah, this is
Simple,
it.
Man. Listen, the talking's done, man. The talking's done, man. As they say, the weigh-in has been done. The press conferences, they've been done. It's time to fight.
It's time to fight, man. It's time to fight. People, big up to everyone in the stream. Make sure you drop a like on the stream. Make sure you subscribe. Big up to the guys at Boohoo Man for sponsoring today's stream. It's going to be a massive one tomorrow. Hugh's getting that early flight over from Dublin to Manchester. We'll be live at 11:30 UK time, bringing you that team news reaction, all the pre-match build-up. It's going to be a madness, guys. If you're joining us, get there early. It's going to be a madness. If you're not joining us, enjoy the game. Believe in this team. Don't give up until the final whistle. Never give up. This team has won too many games, too many titles with last minute comebacks. I ain't going to give up, man. This is going to be an absolute madness. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this stream. We sit here till I die. Big up to Boohoo Man, sponsor of today's stream. And yeah, tomorrow, will it be Haaland or will it be Julian Alvarez? People, have a good one and catch you in the next one, man. Peace out.
In a bit.
Thank you.